I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed. The rap is not something I envisioned, I have to say. I was not expecting that. Dean's not my typical type.
So, season 10 has started and I am already side-eyeing people because my biggest pet peeve on Married at First Sight is when somebody gets married to a stranger and then turns around and says they're not my type. Your type has not been working for you. You told experts you're open to new sort of different types, and suddenly you're saying, oh, not my type, I'm not attracted, I don't want it. If you don't want it, why bother going through the process? Why say I do? Why not turn around and tell production that I am sorry, I'm not going to say I do, I'm going home and leave? What's the purpose of doing this? I really don't like the way Sarah behaved. I loved her during the bachelorette party, but at the moment she started behaving the way she behaved at her wedding and sort of making comments about her husband, I didn't like that. I'm not saying her husband is the best. That man has a lot of problems. Some of the things that he was doing are unacceptable, but for her to behave the way she did, oh my God, side-eye. And then with Davidid and Key, I don't know. Maybe it's too good to be true. That's the impression that I get. Because if they're these two perfect people and if they're so aligned, yes, there have been couples on Married at First Sight that have had the very good first impression like they have. So I might be judging it from experience. I might be biased. So I'll keep an open mind and I can't wait to see what happens. Anyway, hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight UK, Season 10, Episode 1. I completely forgot, it slipped my mind that Mouse UK was back, so Mouse UK is back this week. Let's go. So we get to meet the cast. They have their stag and hand do. As you know, on this channel, I don't normally sort of preview the cast members before the show starts. I want to go in blank slate and see what's happening as we watch it from episode 1. Anyway, we get to meet the guys and the girls that are said to be married in this season, and I'm happy that the youngest person we've got is 29 years old, and so that shows that I think they've gone for age and they've tried to aim for maturity, so we'll see how that goes. I'll just go through the ladies and then I'll go through the guys and then we'll pick up once the wedding stuff starts. So with the brides, we get to meet Sarah first. She's 31. She's a recruitment consultant. Apparently, she was a carer for her mum because her mum struggled with alcoholism. And I think she said her mum passed away at 15, but she knows her mum will be there in spirit when she gets married and her dad is a support system. That was really sad, and I appreciate everybody else respecting and allowing her the time to speak, because no one tried to sort of bring their sort of grief into that. They allowed her to speak, made a toast to her mum, and that was it. We then met Nellie. Nellie is a cosmetic dentist. What do I think? I don't know. She's giving me sweet vibes. She's reminding me of Sarova, not because of the ethnicity, but at the end of the day, I hope she doesn't go through what Sarova went through on Love is Blind. If you've watched Love is Blind UK, we met Grace, who's 30 years old. She's a midwife. And she sort of clashed about gender roles, and it's like, it's too early for you to be clashing with anyone. It's too early for you to be having a back and forth just because somebody spoke about gender roles. This is not the moment. You're supposed to be celebrating your upcoming wedding. You don't need to be sort of going back and forth with someone about your gender roles. Anita is 54. She's an operations manager. She's got 3 grandkids. And she was saying one of her grandkids saw her wedding dress and was asking her nanny what is going on. But she says, although she's 54, she's still young at heart and is really looking forward to getting married. She understands, that her guy might not have a full head of hair. And it's like, hey, it is what it is. Leah is 35. She's a construction consultant. She met with the guys because she said she's asked for a girl, so she's bisexual, but she's looking to marry a girl because that's what she asked for. Rebecca's 32. She's an anesthetic nurse, and she looked like she was a walking billboard for her profession. That's just what I'm going to say. Because her and Mev both are in aesthetics and they look like they are poster children for the profession that they're in. No offense to anyone, but you can see that they've had a lot of work done on their faces and on their physique. Well, on, the other lady's physique, not so much on Mev, but on Rebecca's physique, you could see that she might have had a nip and a tuck here and there. Mev is 29. She's an aesthetic practitioner. She has a 10-year-old son, and she's looking forward to meeting the man of her dreams. And it's like, hey, good for you. We met Leah, and Leah, the only thing we know about is as soon as she walked in, she wanted everybody to know she's gay. So I assume she is the one who's going to get married to Leah. So she's Lee, and Leah is the other partner. We don't even know her age, or I might have missed that. We met Julia Ruth. Julia Ruth, for me, was a bit too much. She was a bit too much. I think she was doing way too much. The way she was using her head, the way she was walking, the facial expressions and everything else. It might be a bit too much for somebody else. It came across as though she was auditioning and she was looking for to play a role. That's the impression that I got. I wish she had toned it up a bit. I know some people were saying, oh, we love her, we love her. I love her, but I think she's too much and she might put somebody off. So it depends on who the guy is. On the guys, we met Dean. He's 31. He's a team builder. Team building host, and he wants to rap his vows. The other guys were not on board with that. But hey, to each their own. He said he's always the friend, and it seems all girls that he's been friends with are always saying to him, oh, I wish I could find a guy like you, but nobody seems to like him. And he's never been in love before. He always felt like he wasn't enough in past relationships. So hopefully Mouse gives him what he's looking for. My money is on he's going to be given a girl that's going to give him hell. Joe is 30. He's a personal trainer. And he's got tattoos for days. He said he doesn't mind, a bride who's got tattoos, but I hope, hey, whatever it is, she appreciates my tattoos because there's nothing I can do about it because people always get the wrong impression about me. And then when they talk to me, they realize I'm a gentle giant. So hopefully his wife appreciates that. I think it was one of the brides, I think it was Sarah, who said, she likes someone who looks like they've come from prison. So maybe that's him. Bailey's 36. He's a sales manager. He likes to be the front runner, so he's looking to be the front runner in this. And it's like, oh, what? You're not in a competition, buddy. It's here to find your wife. So if you want to find your wife, then you need to be willing to compromise with your partner. Otherwise, it's divorce field for you. Ashley's 35. He's an operations director. Dave is 33. He's a flight attendant and he met the ladies and he said he's Portuguese French. He's previously been married. And he spoke about gender roles. This is when he clashed with the midwife because the midwife was saying, why are we talking about gender roles? I'm a feminist. Grace wasn't on board with that. And it's like, it's a bit too early for the two of you to be clashing. We met Paul. Paul is 60. He's retired and he was married for 7 years. So he's there to look for his bride. And I assume he is the one who's going to marry the 50-year-old Anita, unless he's asked for a pretty young thing. KK is 31. He's a marketing manager. And he said, he's been hurt a lot. So he's got walls up for days. He was asked, so are you going to be the problem in your relationship? He said, I don't think so. I think he is the one who's going to be matched with David. That's where my money is. And then Steven is an investment manager. We didn't get to see his age, or maybe I missed it. The guys then met up with the experts. So the guys met with Paul and the girls met with Mel and Charlene, and they were welcomed to the experiment and they were told they're about to get married. So to enjoy their hen do before they walk down the aisle. I think there are a couple of people that I'm looking at and I'm already having questions as to why they're on the show. I think they're there for the clout. I love that producers are not fluffing up time and just wasting time, because we've already moved over from the hen do and we're already at the first couple. First couple is Sarah and Dean. Sarah said, she likes to party. She's a party girl. She wants, she normally dates a bad boy or the red flag type of guys. So she's very close to her dad. We've already found out that her mom passed away, and since then she's been very close to her dad. And her dad has disapproved of most of her exes because they haven't treated her very well. And apparently she was in a previous relationship which was very toxic, and the guy sort of managed to separate her from the rest of her family, and she really changed to be something she couldn't recognize. So this time she says she wants something different. She's hoping production or experts will set her up with the man of her dreams. Dean, we've already met him. He's the cheeky chappy. He struggled with his weight. Apparently, at one time, he lost a lot of weight, and then he realized that he couldn't maintain, the weight loss. So he then went back to his normal weight, and his confidence came back. He's the sort of team builder guy who helps people with morale and stuff. He said he's very romantic, and he wants someone who's loving and caring and a perfect smile. Do I think Sarah is this person? No. Just because the type of person that Sarah has described looks like Joe. So I have a feeling that when the couples meet up and she sees Joe, she's going to jump ship. I hope she's watched Married at First Sight before, because if we've watched the US version, Jamie and Doug are still married. They are now with 3 or 4 kids, if I'm not mistaken. But on her wedding day, Jamie was crying hysterically, saying that I don't like this man, I don't like this man. And so hopefully when she sees, I know she's seeing him, but hopefully she allows this relationship time to grow. The second couple to be married are Davidid and Keys. Keys apparently had a brother who passed away from cerebral palsy. He's very close to his mom. He's been single for 7 years. Apparently, prior to that, he met someone at 19 and they were married for 7 years. And he said, money is not always the solution to everything. And apparently, his ex-husband cheated on him. And that's how they got divorced. So he is looking for someone with a very good heart, someone who's going to sort of help heal him because he's put his walls up. And I don't know whether David is a person, because David was saying, he wants someone who will play sort of gender roles. So I don't know what's going to happen there. David, we've already met. He's a flight attendant. And he's found it a bit hard to date because he's a flight attendant. So because he's always all over the place with his job, at times he doesn't have enough time to see family and, explore a relationship with someone. He met someone and they were engaged for 8 years. But over time, they fell out of love. Apparently, his dad struggled when he told him that he was gay, but he says they're in a good space. Do I think they'll make a cute couple? I'm a bit skeptical just because of the fact that they both come with baggage from failed relationships. And I don't know whether they've healed enough, even though they've been single for a while. I don't know whether they've healed enough to be able to accommodate a new person in their lives, but I can't wait to see what happens there. The first wedding of the season is Sarah and Dean. Dean is very happy, he's very excited. Sarah, her friends are a bit worried because they say she's got a type that she normally goes for. She normally goes for a bad guy with tattoos and muscly. And so she is saying, well, out of Sarah's mouth, she's saying she's open to the idea of exploring something different. Her friends are open to the idea of her exploring something different because they feel like her previous partners really haven't worked, or the relationships haven't worked because the guys have not been the best of people. Even her dad said that her partners haven't treated her very well. So, as I said before, I'll say it again. She needs to watch Married at First Sight USA Season 1 and see how Jamie struggled with Doug because he wasn't the type of guy that she was used to dating. She's now happily married. She's got a couple of kids in tow with the same guy that she was crying hysterically on her wedding day. Dean, on his part, is excited. His friends are skeptical because he's still talking about, wrapping his vows. And it's like, seriously, you don't even know this person. Why would you do that? Why would you think that's the moment for you to sort of create that impression? He comes down the aisle, and as soon as he comes down the aisle, you can see that Sarah's friends are not happy. They know that she's not going to like this man. And so you have Sarah walk down, and immediately she's put off by him because he's not the type of body type that she likes, and he doesn't have any tattoos. And it's like, this man looks like your dad. Why are you rebelling against it? Is it because you don't want to marry someone that looks like your dad, or what is it? I really don't get it, because she immediately said, I'm not attracted to him. I'm sorry. It's not going to work. You have Dean there cheering and happy and excited that he's getting married. And this is the problem with Married at First Sight. I wish experts would give people what they ask for and let them deal with it as they want. Because yes, she's asked for something. It seems very superficial. They should have given her what she's looking for. They should have given her Joe, because now what's going to happen is poor Dean is going to be left heartbroken when that woman leaves him for Joe. She said her vows, they were cute. He said his vows, they were cute. But then he did the rap, and she said that was even more off-putting. She got the ick, so I don't think they'll ever be able to recover from that. So once they finished their vows, the officiant then asked them to share a kiss, and she was looking at the officiant and saying no. Eventually she agreed to a kiss on the cheek, and it's like, oh my god, make it make sense. Why are you making it seem like it's very repulsive? I don't understand that, and I didn't like that. Hopefully she will be the bigger person and she'll give this man an opportunity, because it would be devastating for him to watch all this. If they succeeded as a couple, yes, but if the relationship didn't work out, it's going to be heartbreaking for him to watch her saying, I'm not attracted to him, I'm not attracted to him. But we'll give it an opportunity. They walked down the aisle. He seemed giddy and excited, but she's already got the ache from the rap. I don't think she'll ever recover from that. It was really cute to see Key's mom actually come and sort of sit with him. She was excited. Her son is getting married. She really wants to be, his biggest supporter. So that was really cute to see. I really love that. And I love how much he loves his mother, and how, he made sure that she was a central part of his journey and of everything that was taking place with Davidid. Davidid was very anxious because he had promised that he would speak to his mom before the ceremony. So he waited for the time to call her, and she didn't pick up. He called his brother didn't pick up, and then suddenly there was a knock on the door, and his mom walked in, which was amazing for him, because you could see he was really moved by it, and he wanted to cry, and he was asking and telling them that you didn't need to make the journey. But I think his mom wanted to show support, and so she came down from Paris, attended the wedding, and then soon after the wedding she had to leave. So that was cute to see him and sort of have his family there to sort of boost his morale and allow him to walk down the aisle. He walked down the aisle. I found a bit of an awkward situation with the conversation. I've noticed this a lot, that people, when you don't understand the language, they speak slowly and enunciate every word, and it's like, why are we doing this? If I don't understand, I don't understand. It's not that I'm saying enunciate better, because his mom is French, so she doesn't speak English, and you had Kay's mom try and speak in English to the mom, and the brother said, no, she doesn't understand English. I understand English, but my English is not the best. But it was cute to see the mom try and make an effort. When Davidid walked down the aisle, he brought a bouquet of flowers for Key's mom, which I thought was very thoughtful, and I'm sad that Key didn't do the same. Key walked down the aisle. I don't know whether that was his dad or whoever the guy is that walked him down the aisle. They were very attracted to one another. So it was attraction at first sight. They were very eager. They were very keen. They were very nervous. And it seemed to sort of align on a lot of things initially on first sight. I can't wait to see what happens afterwards. I loved their reception, because at their reception, they then got to sit down and sort of have conversations about their past relationships. They both revealed that they had previously been married, and those marriages had not been successful, and sadly they broke up, and this is where they are. And so I can't wait to see what they've learned from their failed relationship. I can't wait to see how they'll progress further in the experiment. But I think it was a very good initial first impression. They both brought their best self-representatives to the wedding. So that was cute to see. Dean and Sarah, that was a toxic mess. Dean is trying too hard, because you had Sarah's dad trying to speak up on his behalf and sort of tell Sarah that he's an amazing guy, he's really good, you need to give him an opportunity. Sarah was put off by the singing that he did at the dinner, why he felt the need to sing, only he knows, the way he was laughing, and production tend to emphasize things that sort of stick out. I've already said so. I'm willing to bet money that Sarah's going to go for Joe. There's no way she's going to go back to this man. The moment she sees Joe, they're going to couple up. And I'm willing to bet anything. And I have a feeling Joe is going to be put off by his partner and is also going to want Sarah. Or else Sarah is just going to be, trotting behind him and hoping that he pays her a look. I don't know. It was really sad that the first wedding we saw was a train wreck. I would have loved something that's a bit more appealing, something that's more inviting. Because if wedding number 1 is a train wreck, I can only imagine what's going to happen with the rest. I can't wait to see that. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Click on the link in my video to watch my review from last season, season 9. Bye guys.